Alright, this is a redo of a video that I made a while ago, but I did a really bad job at it. I just thought I'd do a comparison between the Strider SNG, the man, I can't remember the name now. Duh, I just went brain dead. The Hinderer XM18 3.5 inch, and a Chris Reeve Sebenza. Now, this is going to kind of be a slightly unfair video just because, to my knowledge, Strider Knives has went out of business. Which I was extremely disappointed to hear because I wanted to buy another Strider because these things, I mean, these are cool. But, I mean, just look at that flamed titanium. But when I went to look them up, learned that they went out of business. So, that was kind of disappointing. But all these knives, they're compared as like the holy trifecta, basically the holy trinity of knife collectors. It's basically, well, at least back when I started collecting knives, collecting, quote unquote, little air quotations. These were kind of three knives that everyone shot for. You know, you want a Strider, Hinderer, and Sebenza. The three big names, and rightfully so, they're all really good knives. I obviously do have my preferences, or not necessarily preference which knife is better or worse, but there's things about them that I like, things about them I don't. You know, each one has a strengths and weaknesses. Ugh, can't talk. So, and the price points on these are, at the time At the time I bought these knives, the prices, they vary a lot. Like, they're not anywhere near each other's price points. Now they would be pretty close. Like, the Strider I bought for about $400, which, I mean, I know it's a lot for a knife, but, you know, you got to take into account what it has, the name, you know, the materials that go into it, and all that fun stuff. Oh, excuse me, sniffles. The Hinderer at the time, when I bought mine, this one was, I think I paid $699 for it, so almost $700. Well, $700. Now they're around, I think it's like $420, $425, something like that, which is really good. I haven't got one of the, now I want to buy one, but I haven't got one of the modern production Hinderers, but I'm sure that the quality's still there because they've ramped up production. Like, back when I bought this, you couldn't find them anywhere. Like, it was really hard to find them. You had to like scour Monkey Edge for like weeks on end, and you know, until you pick one up there, until one comes up there, and you snag it before someone else does. And in my Sebenza, I got a slightly embellished one with the Damascus blade. So this one cost me, look at that edge on it. Look at how mirror polished this is. These are basically brand new because I don't really carry them too much. Well, actually, I do carry the Strider quite a bit. Not anymore. That went out of business. But yeah, this one was about $700 too. So, you know, you're talking price points, but these normally go for the Sebenzas normally go for about $400. So you're looking at price points that are pretty close now, if the Strider was still available. But back then they were way off. But let's just start with what they have in common. Okay, they're basically all titanium. Like, they're titanium frame locks. So you have your Strider frame lock, and you have your Hinderer overextension. I can't remember what it called. Lock bar stabilizer. There we go. I knew I'd get it. So all titanium frame lock on the Strider. Hinderer titanium frame lock with the over travel Hinderer lock bar stabilizer. Obviously, they invented it. Hinderer did. And then you have your Sebenza, which has a little bit more titanium in it because both handle scales are titanium, versus your Strider, which has G10 on one side and titanium on the other. Which, this piece of G10 is awesome. Look at how it's milled out. It's one piece of G10, and they just milled this section out here. So that's where some of the cost comes from. It's not an individual spacer. Let's see if it'll focus on us here. Will it focus? See, it's not two individual pieces. Like, they don't have a back spacer. It's just one solid piece of G10. So that's where some of the cost comes from. And then for your Hinderer, I forgot to mention, it does have a titanium liner in there. I'm pretty sure that the liner is titanium. The one downside to all these knives is that their lock bars are all titanium. They don't have stainless inserts, which a lot of companies are doing nowadays. I've never had any issues really with the lock bars wearing out, although I'm not a extreme heavy user of these knives. So, you know, your mileage will vary, as Nothing Fancy would say, or your mileage may vary. But let's actually open these up. Let's get ourselves a little show of blades going on here. Probably want to see what they all look like. But yeah, so that's one downside to all of them. But I mean, that is a feature that they all share, is just straight titanium lock bars. So let's see, what other what are similarities that they have? Well, the steels, I guess they're fairly comparable to each other. Strider, I think that's an S30V. You could get, I believe, a 154 cm, but mine is the S30V variant. The Hinderer is S35V VN, S35VN, as you see by the blade stamping. And they're all made in the USA. I can't remember where Strider the Hinderers are made. No, sorry. Yeah, Strider Hinderer. Sebenzas are made in Ohio. Idaho, sorry. I knew where it was made. I just... My brain died on me for a second. So as far as other similarities go, let's see. You got titanium, you got the blade seals. Oh yeah, this you normally get an S30 or S35, I believe. I can't remember what they're using now. I actually haven't looked these guys up in quite a while, so they probably all went out of business by now, and this is a dated video. Hardware-wise, I don't really like how you need special pivot tools for the Strider and the Hinderer. You need special tools to take them apart. The Sebenza, it comes with your little Allen wrench, and Allen? Or is it Torx? I don't know. They actually, basically recommend you take it apart. They're pretty easy to take apart. You're not going to get in trouble for doing that. They just say don't flick them open. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. That's a whole other debate in its own. As far as variations on these guys go, let's see. All of them have a lot. Well, obviously, other than the Strider, because they're gone. They're dead. Let's play some taps for them. I would on my guitar, my nice guitar, but I can't bring it in the frame, so I'll just show you the guitar pick. Anyway, I just had to stick them there somewhere. The Striders, they had a lot of different variants as far as blade styles go. You get, well, mine's obviously a Tanto and the Tiger Stripe, which just looks awesome. I think they call it actually a Ghost Stripe. If we can get, yeah, it's really not picking up as good as it is on camera. It looks kind of brown because of my cruddy lighting, but you can get in Tanto, which obviously I got. I think there was a Drop Point. They make a lot of customs, but I can't remember the other, all the variants in them. But you can get quite a few colorized handles. But Strider's more focused on the military look. So you're going to be getting a lot of this, your Coyote Browns, OD Green, Black, Sand. They did have some grays, which I wanted to pick one of those up, which now I'm really sad I didn't. But you're getting more of the military type colorations on these guys. And then the titanium, you could just get the the stone washed, or I think they had a satin. I can't remember all the finishes they had, but you could just get it with the plain titanium or the anodized, the flame anodized, which is a really dark. But I mean, you can see some of those. Let's see if we can focus on it here. Some of those anodization lines in there. I do like how this one isn't complete flow through, but I mean, you got pretty good access in there to clean it out. Let's see. So that's the variations on the Strider. Hinderer, they have a lot of blade styles. Their main ones are Spanto, which I haven't seen around recently, but it's kind of a combination of a Tanto and what else is it? A spear point, I think it is. I'm trying to remember exactly, but it's a kind of a weird shape. This is a Warncliffe, if I pronounce it right. Someone don't kill me in the comments. Warncliffe. I really like this look. It's, I don't know why. I just kind of like it. It looks almost like it looks kind of organic. Not organic, I guess is the word for it, but almost like a predator's claw or something. I don't know. A lot of different handle colors, or you could get a lot of handle colors. These scales are actually interchangeable, so you just need I think you need a pivot tool to take it off, or take off the pivot, and then just undo your screws and you can switch around. Hinderers are extremely customizable. They'll sell the barrel spacers in different colors. They can get them in copper, titanium, or anodized titanium. You can get different pocket clips. People make aftermarket pocket clips. You can get the stabilizer in different colors. Just all sorts of cool stuff. Hinderers are definitely the most customizable out of all these, and now they've came out with a lot more knives and a lot different variations on their color schemes and their finishes. Back here, you can only get a stonewash blade and and stonewash titanium handle, but nowadays they got all sorts of different finishes. They got a working finish. I'm trying to think of the other one that they got. I mean, they're just really, really cool. They've went a long way since I've got these. And like I said, I'm sure the quality's still there. I haven't got one of the new ones to try them out. But definitely the Hinderers are the most customizable out of all three of these. And then you come to the Sebenzas, which are regarded as the best knife in the world. I wouldn't necessarily say that they are, but as far as your combinations and colorizations go, you can get like standard built knives, like with the Damascus, which they don't offer Hinderers or at the time Striders that I'm aware of with Damascus blades. You could get like some custom Striders, but you're gonna be, yeah, I mean those are gonna cost you like, gee, I don't know, $2,000-3,000, you know, and they might have made an exclusive Hinderer or two, but the Sebenzas, you could basically just buy a Damascus bladed one. Obviously more expensive, but different Damascus patterns. I can't remember what this Damascus pattern is called. I want to say it was Raindrop, but I don't think that's correct. Like I said, look at that edge. I didn't even touch the edge. I would have made it look worse. I can't sharpen knives. This one has a gold hardware. And then the Striders, nope, Sebenzas. Striders and Sebenza, they rhyme. These, the Sebenzas, you can get with a bunch of different inlays. So they have like micarta, different wood. This, I'm pretty sure, is a snakewood inlay, although I might be off with that. But they have a lot of different inlays, a lot of different graphic patterns. Only on the, what would it be, the left handle scale? Yeah, left handle scale, this side. Or maybe the other side. Well, the inlays do have the extra inlay, but if it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? If it has an inlay on one side or like a graphic on one side, this will just be the plain side, unless it has, you know, the wood inlays or micarta, and it'll just be the bead blast, which you can see when we focus here. This is kind of it's like a polished or satin. I don't know my exact terminology. Okay, sue me. And then the pocket clip and the lock bar is bead blasted, which is nice. You know, it's a nice finish. I have nothing against it. I don't have one of the standard Sebenzas, but they look really nice and they look like a good hard use knife. So let's see. Those are different finishes that you can get, or different combinations of stuff. Let's talk about quality for a second. All right, now all of these have extremely high quality as far as, you know, the fit and finish goes and everything. Now, if I had to rank them though, I would say that the one with the least quality is going to be the Strider. Now, why do you say that, Mr. Man? Well, it's just little stuff here and there. It's more built for a military type knife. I did notice it has teensy. You're not really gonna be able to feel it. Teensy bit of blade plate. I'm like shaking it around, so you really can't see it. But it's barely anything. It's not really anything to write home about, and that came from probably opening and closing it so many times. The lock bar is a little sticky, but nothing too major. And like I said, it's nothing to really write home about. The one thing I did notice, and you can flick all these open, but I can't really do it on camera. Inside, and the focus is here, and it is dirty. You know, do I have a light? Do I have a light? I do, but all my lights are upstairs, so let's see here. Can we get some light in that situation? See the screw for the pocket clip sticking through there? It's just little stuff like that it's not necessarily that it makes the knife bad, but it's a little quality thing that it's like, why didn't you, finish the screw down? It's out of sight, it's out of mind. There's really no reason to shorten that screw down, but I just noticed it and it's like, it's one of those teensy-weensy details. I'm paying for a $400 knife. It would kind of be nice. I mean, granted, a longer screw will keep the pocket clip, from coming out. As a practical standpoint, there's no issue with it, but if you're trying to make a high-end, like, if you're looking at, like, I'd expect something like on this Ganzo, I'd expect stuff on here. Let's see if I can do this if I hit my camera. I hit the camera, dang it, I called it. I'd expect stuff on here not to be as good, obviously, because, it's like a $20 knife. When you're spending $400 for a knife, you want stuff to be perfect, But, like I said, no issue with it. It's not a problem. It doesn't make the knife any worse, any better. It's just little things. Fit and finish isn't quite as good on there. It's still really good, though. Let's focus this here. It's still really good, and that's the thing I want to get across, is that, it's not bad because of that. So that would be that'd be the third, least quality, if I had to choose. These two are really close. I'd probably have to give the best quality to the Hinder. Just because it feels, there's just something extra about it. I really should have, you know what, let me see if I can zoom back a little bit here without everything falling down, get us a little bit more room. There we go. And people just came home. Just the blade, the way it glides, is just really, really smooth. I really can't tap it to show you, but it just feels almost like it's riding on glass. And then the lockup, pretty good lockup. I always have really good lockup. The Strider is a little bit later just because I've used it so much. But yeah, just everything about this just feels rounded, almost like it's just like you just melted butter, like a stick of melted butter, basically. That's the best way I can describe the Hinder. They don't flip really, you know, that unless you give them wrist tension. But everything about them is just rounded, and it just feels nice in your hand. The Sebenza, it has good quality. You know, I have no issues with it, but the quality almost seems a little too good, where it can almost be a little bit too good for its own good, I guess, if that makes sense. I'm not making sense, but, and I mean, it's still really good. I mean, it locks up really positively. Out of all these, it probably has the most solid lockup. But it's just, it has to do with the finish. Like I mentioned, the Bead Blast. I like the Bead Blast finish on it, you know, for looks wise and even practicality wise, you know, give you a teensy bit of grip. Whereas the Hinder is really slippery. It can be slippery sometimes, you know, just because of the stone washing. It's such a fine finish. The Bead Blast has more grip, but to my personal touch, I don't like the grittiness of it. It just reminds me of a painted wall, you know, drywall, which I cannot stand. But it's not a bad finish. That's the thing, you know. None of these are bad knives. It's just out of my personal taste, you know. So now, when it comes down to it, let me flip this guy open. Woo! Y'all have really good sounds when you flick them open. Now, when it comes down to it, which one would I prefer? If I could just keep one of these guys in my collection. Not necessarily for, like, not taking price, not taking, what do you call it, the rarity or anything really. Just which knife out of here, if I had to grab a knife to actually use, which one would I grab? That's a really, really hard call. But I'm going to have to judge this on which one I've actually carried more and actually used more, because that's the best indication of which one. Because, you know, I could say, like, oh, you know, I take the Sebenza because it got such and such a blade length, and, you know, it's like the highest quality. I could barter it for, like, you know, socks in an apocalypse or something. Or like the Hinderer, well, you know, that blade shape's really useful, you know, it's really good quality, you know, if I drop it, I won't lose it because of the blue, which I kind of wish I would have gotten that color. Or like, you know, the Strider, oh, well, it's military, it's tactical looking, you know, it's camouflage, you could stab someone with it and they wouldn't know when you stab them. No, oh, there we go. I'm like way off camera. I gotta stop bumping my camera. So I could theorize which one would be the best, but I'm gonna go by which one I've actually carried the most, and that's gonna have to be the Strider. For some reason, the Strider to me, move these guys back, the Strider to me just feels good. It feels good in my hand. You know, I like the feel. It's a shorter blade, a little bit. You don't get as much cutting edge, but for me, it just feels good. I just like carrying it. It fits my hand well. And that's the main thing. You need a knife that you're going to feel comfortable using. And not that these guys are bad. You know, the Sebenza's good. It fits nice. But just not quite as much of a finger choil. I like a little bit deeper finger choil on my knife. The Hinder's good. Really good. It's actually the best as far as your finger choil goes. It really locks, and you can't see that at all. It really locks in your hand good. But I've just carried the Strider more. And like I said, it's just personal preference. I mean, I like the grip it has. You know, you can choke up on it if you need to. But it's just the one I've carried the most. I played with it the most. I'm comfortable with the way it opens and closes. Not on camera, obviously. I like the little thwack it makes. But it's just the one I've carried around the most. So it would have to be my favorite out of. Now, when you factor in everything else, nicest looking, obviously, is going to be my Sebenza. And second nicest is probably going to be my Strider, just because I like the military look. And then my Hinder, but just because of the blue. I'm not too big of a fan of that blue, but that can be changed. But let's see, what else do I want to say about these guys? If you can snag a Strider, do it. Definitely, because now that they've been discontinued, they're worth it. I'd probably spend I don't know what they'd be going for now. I mean, they were $400 knives when they first came out. I'd probably spend upwards of $600 on one now if I really wanted it. I probably wouldn't buy another one now for that price just because I already have a Strider. I'm not like, oh, I need another one. But if you can definitely find a genuine one, and that's the thing, you got to watch out for fakes on these guys because there are copies, especially the Strider. But if you could find one for the $400 price point, or if you could do a trade and get it, get it valued around $400, it would definitely be worth. I get that. These two guys, from my knowledge, are still available. I haven't looked at Sebenzas recently, but any of the inlay ones, which is standard inlays, not necessarily the Damascus blade ones, you don't really need that. But any of the standard models, they'd be definitely really good working knives. You could use it and feel good about using a high-end knife, and especially the blade. This blade shape is really good. Is that a drop point? I don't know. I'm stupid as far as blade shapes go. I know Tanto, but clip point. Clip point? No, it's not a clip point. I don't know. It's a point. It's been a while since I've looked at my blade shapes. And it Hinders for their price point now would definitely be worth it as long as the quality is still the same, which I'm sure it would be because Hinder's got a name to protect, But yeah, so that's about it. Really good knives, all three of them. Pick any of them up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I won't answer it. No, I'm just kidding. I'll try and answer all the questions. And I'll see everybody on the flip side. Take care.